in the multifamily, you have to say no more than you say yes for deals.
Okay.
And that's tough because it's kind of like, of course, everyone wants a bunch of deals because the more deals you have, the more money you can make, right?
Hmm.
But we want to minimize all the risk that's involved. It's definitely worth it because you can make a big difference in the community.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who live in these large multifamily apartments and they're not happy. Like they don't like them. They're run down. They may not have a good property management company. Like they may be needing changes to be made to their house and they're not being heard or voiced.
Mm.
So we come in and then as long as there are things that we can fix, like maybe we just change the property management company, or maybe we actually update their apartment to make them feel like they're actually happy to be at home. We want to be able to share our knowledge with other people as well so that they can also grow with us. Like we don't want to just go grow by ourselves. And everyone in the multifamily space, they did not be successful in the multifamily space without someone else helping them.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Super excited for today's guest, Melanie St. Frank. She's into multifamily investing, and if you've been paying attention to my show at all, you know that I like to talk to investors because every single one has a different niche, a different methodology, and they always learn something new and makes me want to go out and actually do it. So maybe this is the call that's going to make me go into action. And how about you too? So, Melanie, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Love having you. Okay, so tell me, I mean, I got the chance to talk to you before, so these people haven't. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sounds good. Yeah. So I'm currently located in Providence, Rhode Island. I was born and raised on Martha's Vineyard, so it's kind of
Ooh,
cool. But
yeah.
so I am also in multifamily investing. So
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I went to Johnson and Wales and got my bachelor's degree and then my master's degree in financial services management. So I thought that it would be really good to learn how to manage finances and how to make money. It's something that we all want to know about for ourselves too, right? So I was
Mhm.
like, let me learn about it for myself so then I can teach other people. Um, and so then I went and worked for an accounting firm, and I've been there for about 12 years now as their registered investment assistant. I went and got my 6 and 63 licenses. And so I help manage all of their investment clients, mutual funds, IRAs, 401ks. They don't do stocks because that's the Series 7, but life insurance, long term care, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Uh, and then I decided I'd like to also try to find ways to make other money on top of just my job. So I went and did a mentorship program in 2019 for single family flipping in houses
Oh,
because
fun. Okay.
yeah, I kind of always liked watching HGTV and
Yeah.
um, I was always into properties, and my grandparents actually had a bunch of properties in the greater Boston area, and they rented them out and rehab them too. So I said, I'll get into it myself with my husband. And we believe in education. So we wanted to make sure that we would learn from other people's mistakes. And so we invested in the mentorship program called Fortune Builders. And then back in 2019, and then we got hit hard in 2020 with COVID
Yep.
because
We did. Everyone did.
nobody wanted to lend to people with no experience. So
Mm.
I was like, we learned the mentorship program. Like I've gone through the education. I know I haven't done it myself yet, but um, the lenders didn't want to hear that. They were like, sorry, we can do it for you, but at a way too high interest rate. The interest rates were going to be like 17%.
Oh,
Um, so that would have eaten up all of our profit if we
yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
Um, so then we finally got our first one in 2022, and then we've done a couple more since then. And
Okay.
then now we've decided, well, flipping is great. We bought like a single family rental because that's what they teach you to do. Every time you get a flip, use your profit and purchase a rental. So that way your rental can kind of give you the passive income.
Okay.
Um, but then we just recently decided like flipping is still really active income. And so we want to try to get something that's more passive. Um, oh, and also back in May, I got my realtor's license because my husband
Okay.
was like, why don't you just take the test and become a realtor? We keep paying a realtor for buying and selling all these houses. So I
There
was
you
like, well,
go.
there we
Mm-hmm.
go. So I did that. And plus, our realtor we had, she was great. But it was a really busy time in the market. It was like a house chasing time. It wasn't really like a house
Yeah.
buying, a good time to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
so we ended up doing a mentorship program in multifamily mindset back
Hmm.
in September of 2025. And um, they had said, like, we can teach you how to purchase 20 plus apartments. So these large, large apartments.
Okay.
And we were like, what do you mean? Like, people can buy apartments? What do you mean? Like, when you see these large, large properties, you think that, oh, banks must own them. You know what I mean? Or multimillionaires must own them because what do all the multimillionaires have in common? They own real estate, right?
Yeah. 100%. Every one of them.
Yep.
You know
So,
what's interesting though, real quick on that topic? It's interesting. I was just listening to another book by Grant Cardone the other day, and he invests in something different. Tony Robbins, I read his book, Money Master the Game. And he does a lot of like adult family home investments. And there's a lot of people who do like real estate syndication investing. There's so many like
mhm,
different like types and different ways to invest. And it's
yeah.
really cool. It was really cool to learn all of that. So when you're doing multifamily investing,
Hmm.
are you like, is it four or more units, or like, what are you looking for when, like, how are you classifying multifamily?
So it's 20 or more units.
20 more. Okay. Okay. And are you doing it as part of the syndication, or are you and your husband just going all in?
Yep, we're gonna do part of a syndication
Okay.
because it has the general partners, and the general partners have more experience than you do. So they
Yeah.
can kind of teach you. And then the goal for them is to kind of teach you to be able to do it by yourself in the future, but they help you get started.
So it's kind of a cool way for people who might want to get started in this side of it, is to like, you're buying into a mentorship again, kind of.
Yeah.
But now you're actually going to get money off on the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's cool. That's cool. Is the investment, and you don't have to say specific numbers if you don't want to, but I
Hmm.
think if someone's listening to this and they might want to consider this type of like investing,
Hmm.
is it like a lot? Have you invested more on other things, or like how did the investment feel like that you have to put into this to do a syndication? Or be part of a syndication, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. So there's two different types of partners. There's the limited partners who are
Mhm.
just the passive investors.
Okay.
So for example, let's say like you have $50,000 to invest,
Okay.
just as an example, or 25,000, and you say, okay, I want to grow my money. I can either put it in the stock market, or I can do some mutual funds or crypto, Bitcoin, I don't know, whatever. Or you say, let me um, invest this money into a multifamily syndication.
Mhm.
So you would just say, okay, you would come to someone like me and say, I have $25,000. Like, I really know, like, and trust you. I want you to go out and find a deal to put my money into. And then I'll find the deal. I'll tell you information about the deal, but you won't be able to make any of the decisions about the deal. So you basically just give your money and then do nothing. You'll probably in the first 9 months, usually, because they don't do it in the first 3 quarters, you'll just start getting a check for interest. And then when the property sells, usually within like 5 to 7 years, then you'll get all your money back plus all of the gains that were put into the property. So you own a portion of the property, but you have no say in it.
Cool. So it's kind of like it being a silent or a passive investor,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Huh. That's kind of cool. How many people are part of one syndication?
So there can be a lot of people. It's like a pooled investment, right? So you
Okay.
can, depending on the size. So if you have like a 300 unit, for example, you're going to need a lot more people because you're going to need a lot more money.
Hmm.
Um, but then there are some that could be like 2 or 3 million, depending on the parts of the country that you're in.
Hmm.
So, but for the general partners, there's four different roles. So you may have four different people, one for each role, or you may have multiple people in each role, depending on the size.
Got it. Got it. It's fascinating. That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah.
Like I haven't okay, so the property that you're investing in, where is it at compared to where you are? Is it local?
So the markets that I'm looking at right now, there's one in it's actually a county in Baltimore, Maryland, called Anne Arundel County.
Okay.
That's the one I've been researching because I have kind of like an accountability partner who's an engineer, and he's like, we know a lot of jobs are moving there. And
Okay.
and so that's one of the in all of the market research, we look at like population and job growth because everybody needs a house to rent. So we just want to make sure that that's strong, that everyone, there's going to be a lot of people and a lot of different types of people, and that they're all going to be working so they don't have a hard time paying their rent.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Now, I like when you listen to Bigger Pockets, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when I very first like started listening to Bigger Pockets, because I'm here in Seattle, and I can't remember the guy that started Bigger Pockets. I can't remember his name anymore. It's been so long since I've listened, but he lives in Aberdeen, which is in Washington, and it's about 2 hours south of me. And so it's funny because every time I drive through Aberdeen, I'm like, man, I wonder how much of this town, because it's tiny. The town is tiny,
Oh, wow.
tiny, tiny. I mean, it's like, Kurt Cobain was from
Mhm.
that area, right? And so it's like you walk in and it's like, come as you are, right? It's all Kurt Cobain. Anyway. But it's like I drive through this town and I'm like, I wonder how much of this town he owns. I wonder how much of this town he owns.
Yeah.
So he was always talking about how when you're looking at investment, you want to look at, kind of like, where can you get the biggest return, the biggest or fastest return.
Mhm.
Job market is important. He always I heard a lot about like the Atlanta market too. Like Atlanta is a good place to invest. And even some places in the Midwest too. What
Mhm.
are you kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So it really depends, to be honest with you. So they say to just only focus on a couple of markets
Okay.
because you want to really, really get to know your market. Because when you go into like the underwriting and learning how much the renovations are going to cost, because we're focusing on buildings that need kind of small renovations, not too large, but that will then add value when you go to sell the property.
Hmm.
So the more value you can add, the more higher returns you can give back to your investor. So you want to be able to know like an idea of how much renovations would cost and everything. So if you look at the whole country, you're not going to really be able to do a good job.
Fair.
But so I had originally looked at Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Um, and then I was kind of told by a couple of sponsors that there's a lot of multifamily syndicators there. So, because for each deal, you need a sponsor. So that's the main person. So they need to have an asset for the amount of the asset that you're buying. So if you're buying a $10 million property, they have to already own one. Then they sign off on the loan for you.
Got it.
So they're the ones with the most experience.
Hmm.
Um, and so you'll always have one of those on your team in the beginning. But yeah, so I was looking there, and then I was kind of looking at Charlotte, North Carolina. But it's hard because in the research, when you're researching these places, you also have to kind of anticipate where it's going in the future. And
Right.
some of the research you get is could be from like a year ago. But the Midwest is really great because um, there's a lot of people moving out there for jobs because it's cheaper. Like I'm in Providence, Rhode Island. There aren't
Mhm.
really that many syndicators here because a lot of the jobs have left kind of this area and they've gone out to the Midwest for cheaper labor.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I have a friend she's in Tulsa. It's like her main market is Tulsa. And like when she tells me like the prices of houses where she's at, I was like, you can buy a house for like $100,000 and it's actually kind of a decent house.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so foreign to me. Like 100, you can't even buy it here. I think you can buy into a co-op here for $86,000 for a co-op with like shared kitchens,
Wow.
which is fascinating. It's fascinating to me. So I hear of the other markets where you can buy decent homes, but anyway, so it's interesting how you have to look at. It's very similar to pricing a house for sale.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it, but based on what I'm hearing from you, and I'm sure that obviously there's nuances, but you always have to kind of price, what's happening today, right?
Hmm.
What happened yesterday, and what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, fascinating, fascinating. Okay, so you're investing in this. You have this syndication,
Hmm.
um, and you've already flipped 3 properties, right? 2 properties, three,
4.
4 properties. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you going to flip more properties, or are you kind of done with that now?
Yeah, we're gonna keep going because we actually do really like it.
Mhm.
Um, And so, like for our business too, we focus on people who um, are maybe a little bit older and they can't really care for themselves or their house, or they can care for themselves, but they can't care for their house anymore.
Okay.
And newer buyers, like, most people these days, they want to just be able to purchase a house and move right in. They don't want to have to deal with the renovations.
Mhm.
And a lot of the times, if they have children, the children don't really want to deal with it either. So all of the flips that we've purchased are from that generation of people. And you feel like you're really making a difference because you're helping them by just all they have to do is sign and sell. And then you do the renovations, and then you bring the house to a state where a first time home buyer could purchase it. Like the house can now pass FHA and the house won't have any issues getting a loan. And then, um, because in the beginning, to be honest with you, I was like, I don't really like flippers. But then I realized that all they're doing is really helping first time home buyers be able to actually purchase the home, because I had no idea that some houses, if they're in bad condition, can't even get a loan.
Yeah, like FHA or VA are hard to get a loan. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty smart, right? Because there's definitely a large majority of the people right now are in that position. They lived in their house for 30, 40 years. They raised their kids, their grandkids, and it's time for them to move on and out, and they necessarily don't have the energy or the wherewithal or the desire, I guess is a better word, to actually want to fix it.
Yeah.
So you go in and buy cash and then, or however you buy it, hard money or cash or whatever, and then you turn it around and help them move on to their life. Do you also help them find a place since you have your real estate license?
Actually, in most cases, they've already found a place. I think
Got
they
it. Okay.
usually find a place before they list.
Mm.
So, but I mean, I could do that now too.
I mean, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people are like, no, I just want to sell and I don't have a place to buy yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Sometimes.
we sold a rental who was to an older person, and he was like, I need to sell my house before I can move in, but it was like a downsize.
Yeah.
Um, but we waited, so that was good.
Cool. So how did you guys, I mean, I know that you got your series 6, right? Your
Hmm.
series 6, and you do insurance for people or financial planning for people and insurance, right?
Hmm.
But what made you, and I guess not even made you, but so you and your husband both had to decide you wanted to start moving on the investment side. Was
Hmm.
this a decision that you made together, or was it one of you who was really excited and the other one just kind of agreed to it?
Um, it was something that we were talking about for a while.
Uh-huh.
Um, and my husband was like, because at back then, a house here, like in 2014, we bought our house for 120,000, and now it's probably worth like 430 to 450.
Okay.
So in 2010, 11, you could probably get a house around here like in 85, 100,000.
Okay.
And so my husband was like, like we should try to do some flips. And I was thinking like, yeah, I would love to, but I'm like, I know that if it goes wrong, they can come after you and take everything that you have. You know what I mean? Like if God forbid there was a lawsuit or something involved, and so I'm like, I'd love to do it, but I want to learn how to do it the right way first, because I know that when a flip is a flop, you can lose a lot of money, and I'm like, I don't want
Yeah,
that.
liability. Yeah, for sure. That's smart. Super
Yeah.
smart to think that way because like if I'm probably your husband in this case, I'd be like, let's just go do it. And my husband would be like, okay, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it this way, right? So my husband's probably more you in this scenario.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely like, no, let's just go do it. It's fine. Look at the risk versus reward thing, right? So I like to ask that question because I feel like, there's a lot of people out there who are, in relationships and they might want to do one thing and the other one might not be as excited, right? So I like
Mhm.
to kind of see the dynamic that people have when it comes to something like that because it's not the same for everyone.
Yeah, he says I'm the brains of the business, but I think he's the rest of the body, because he does all of like the handyman work, and
Yeah.
he's been doing so much shoveling in the blizzard and all that stuff. So I'm like, we definitely make a really good team in that way.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, like, who does the work on the homes that you're flipping? Is it him, or do you have are you like acting as a GC and having someone else doing the work?
Yeah, so he does a lot of work, like the small work, and he can do painting and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. But we do have a contractor for the bigger stuff, and so
Cool.
we'll use him for the bigger stuff.
And how did you find that person? Like after you did your mentorship, did that
Mhm.
mentorship program that you went through, did they help you kind of like get set up on who to talk to, building your network, building your team, all that stuff?
Yeah, so there was a local group in Rhode Island. And so we connected with them, and that's how I actually selected my realtor because I didn't have my realtor's license yet.
Hmm.
And so she had shared her experiences with the flipping, and she had helped us look for the properties.
Hmm.
And so that was really good. And then yeah, you kind of just keep talking to people and find out every time you need someone. Like there's a Facebook group, and they can promote on the Facebook group whatever you do. So like if you're a realtor or a lender or a contractor, and then you can find people that way. And they're only going to promote people that are really good, which is helpful.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's like you kind of have that like the what's the word I'm looking for? The word of mouth, like the recommendation right there. So
Yeah.
it's always helpful. I like that. Okay, so is there anything you don't like about multifamily investing, flipping, anything? I mean, I see what you like. Love
Yeah.
that. What is there anything you don't like about it?
Um, I wouldn't say that there's anything that I don't like about it. Um, I mean, it can be challenging, but we kind of just take the challenges head on and keep going.
Hmm.
Especially with the multifamily. I guess initially with the flipping in the mentorship program, they said like your network is your net worth. So you should really network.
Okay.
And I didn't really do that. I guess it was kind of because like I was like, my husband and I could do this. We don't really need that many people, but the multifamily is like a team sport. So you need other people. And so you have to, just the same way you want people to know, like, and trust you, you have to know, like, and trust other people. So you really have to get to know them and make sure, like, we've never lost money in a flip before.
Hmm.
And I know that there are some multifamily operators that have never lost any money either. But then I know there are some operators that unfortunately may have not like made all the right decisions. So, for example, in the multifamily, you have to say no more than you say yes for deals.
Okay.
And that's tough because it's kind of like, of course, everyone wants a bunch of deals because the more deals you have, the more money you can make, right?
Hmm.
But we want to minimize all the risk that's involved. And so, by minimizing all the risk, we have to do all the research. And not only do we have to know and understand it ourselves, but we also have to know and trust our operators that they're going to be making the right decisions. And so, we can get a lot of deals coming across the table, but unfortunately, they're just not good deals. So, we have to just turn them down. So, that's kind of the bummer is you have to spend a lot of time. It
Mm.
can take like 4 to 6 hours for even an experienced underwriter to underwrite a deal because there's
Oh wow.
so much. Yeah, like for the multifamily, you don't go by comps. Like you go by how much income the
Okay.
property is making.
Hmm.
So that's you have to look at the rent rolls and you have to look at the financials, and so you have to look at any issues. So it's there's so much work involved, but it's definitely worth it because you can make a big difference in the community.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who live in these large multifamily apartments and they're not happy. Like they don't like them. They're run down. They may not have a good property management company. Like they may be needing changes to be made to their house and they're not being heard or voiced.
Mm.
So we come in and then as long as there are things that we can fix, like maybe we just change the property management company, or maybe we actually update their apartment to make them feel like they're actually happy to be at home. And so that's really rewarding about it too, because you want people to be happy,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
want them to like where they live.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That would be nice, right? Um, well, that's cool. So I'm just curious, like, where did the drive for this come from? Like, a lot of times we like kind of what we do today. A lot of it stems from like things that we've learned in our life, like different experiences and whatnot. So, kind of where does that drive for you and your husband come from?
So for me, like, I've always liked real estate.
Hmm.
And so the fact that we were able to come in and do the flipping, and I just understood it all pretty quickly. So the drive for the multifamily is because there's so much more work involved, is that I already understand a lot from being a realtor and from already being in the flipping business for so long.
Hmm.
And then um, my husband and I, we always like, we're also Christian, so we're very religious,
Mhm.
and we like to help other people. And so you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And so my husband's kind of like we're the same way we want to add value into the properties. He's like, you're so smart. Like I see you, like I see you understand all this stuff about finance and all this stuff about real estate. And he was like, like you should really use that value like for us and be able to kind of make our own business thrive more and be able to have more um, time together because unfortunately like it's hard like when you're helping other people you're making the sacrifice for yourself and so what you can do for yourself is then smaller and
Yeah.
so then like we can't go on vacation all the time like we want to spend more time with our kids, you know what I mean, we want to be able to go on vacation more, travel more,
Yeah.
and so we want the passive income too,
I love
and
that.
and so and then we want to be able to share our knowledge with other people as well so
Yeah.
that they can also grow with us. Like we don't want to just go grow by ourselves. And everyone in the multifamily space, they did not be successful in the multifamily space without someone else helping them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is for me, I'm like, this is wonderful because there's so much negative things going on in the world, but then you get into this community where everyone just wants to help each other and you're like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It's like when you're around people that just genuinely care and genuinely want you to succeed, it's just, there's nothing else like it.
It's true.
Nothing else at all. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love we want to do this for ourselves. I like that you're also saying we want to build passive income. So we're doing it so our kids can see it, right? Because it teaches at a very young age, it teaches the concept of money and how money can be used for good. And most of the time it is. Most of the time, money is used for good. Unfortunately, there's a few people in this world that make money feel like it's used for bad all the time, but most money is used for good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, let's say you're Melanie. Today, a little bit more today. What would you tell the very first Melanie when she first got into this like investing piece? What advice would you give yourself with today's knowledge?
I think from the beginning, I would just say you can actually invest in multifamily properties, which I never knew. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, we've made different decisions on how we invest our money, but I probably would have made those differently, and I would have gotten into the industry a lot sooner,
Yeah.
for
Oh, I
sure.
love that. That's always I've never heard anyone say I got into the industry too late or too early. I've never heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I've never heard that. Like I say that about like, I got into real estate late in my life.
yeah,
And the only thing I regret is not doing it 10 years earlier when I
yeah,
first wanted to do it. Like,
yeah. Right.
and it's funny. They say when you're younger, time goes faster the older you get. And it's true. It does. All of a sudden you're like, oh, that was 10 years ago. Ooh, yeah. Crazy. Um, okay, Melanie, where can people find you if they want to get to know you a little bit more, hear more about your story? Where can they find you?
So they can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. And my can I share my business name?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's my business name is Renovation Boomers LLC.
Okay.
So renovationboomers.com is my business website, and we also have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page.
All right.
And I also do about like 5 posts a week on Facebook and LinkedIn about the multifamily information, just to try to teach people and share with them how it works.
Awesome. So go and follow Melanie and learn something because I know we follow each other. I think on Facebook and LinkedIn now. So
Yes.
I'm sure I will absolutely be the recipient of some of that content. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Melanie, thank you so much. You're an awesome guest. I love to hear what you're doing, and we'll have to have you back on to kind of hear how this actual like this piece of it goes. Like as you
Yes.
start to get further into it, I want to hear more. So awesome.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you on the next episode.